My nightmare mother-in-law tattered my hair because she thinks it's funny. So, I told her that only when my hair reaches the same length will she ever see my children again. When I was younger, I dealt with a lot of crappy situations. My only real escape from that was my hair. I know how silly that sounds, but it is what it is. When poop started to fall apart, I'd turn to my hair and use it as a medium to control and reflect how I felt. I'd cut it, dye it, style it weird, whatever, and it would make me feel better. In 2011, I gave myself an 80s-like purple mohawk. That involved shaving off a good portion of my hair. This was the last time I truly felt like I wasn't in control of my life. Since then, I've let my hair grow without much messing with it other than regular maintenance. This year, after the birth of my third child, my hair reached the length of my thighs. To me, my long beautiful hair is a reflection of how far I've come with my overall mental health and happiness. It's very, very important to me. This brings me to now. With 3 children under 5, my long ass hair stays in either a pony, braid, or bun. Little hands tend to pull on it otherwise. This fact for some reason has been extremely annoying to my husband's stepmother. Every time I'd see her, at least once, she would bring up what a waste my hair was on me, and she would tell me that a mother shouldn't have a rat nest like I have or something snide like that. She's annoying and I ignore her for the most part because she just wants attention and I won't give it to her. Until yesterday. Sitting on my father-in-law's couch breastfeeding my youngest, having a pleasant conversation with my husband and father-in-law about what we were watching on the TV. I felt a tug on my hair, and before I could pull completely away, I heard the scissors close. There's my mother-in-law and my 4-year-old standing behind the couch, both laughing as she holds a large portion of what was my bun. The 3 of us turned and stared at her. It was like looking at a cartoon villain. I'm effing devastated and trying not to cry in front of my children. My husband starts yelling, asking her if she is insane. My 4-year-old starts to cry, which is followed by mother-in-law, who tearfully claims it's just a joke, it'll grow back. We thought y'all would laugh. The whole situation falls apart with my husband arguing on my behalf, my 3 children and I crying, mother-in-law snot bubble sobbing, and father-in-law trying to get us all to calm down. We ended up leaving with my husband telling his dad to divorce his wife because being married to an overgrown 8-year-old is probably illegal. Which I would have giggled at if I wasn't so upset. My husband drives us around looking for a stylist who will take a walk in, and I call my sister-in-law to come sit with me. She meets us at her stylist's workplace. Looking at my tattered hair was horrible, large chunks were gone and the length was all over the place. It was awful and I felt like I lost a body part. Luckily, the stylist was very talented and salvaged my hair right above my shoulders. It looks nice, but I'm still sad looking at it. I don't know how long it'll take to get over this. Mother-in-law sent me a couple of half-assed apology texts, like sorry. But don't be a baby, hair does grow, you know, type poop. Update: we went to the police station. The officer I talked to was very kind and was especially concerned that I was holding my baby when mother-in-law came at me with scissors. He gave me a step-by-step of what would happen pressing charges, and the likelihood of this kind of thing sticking. Which would have been not good for where I live. We live in a fairly small town where everyone knows everyone pretty much, so this officer does know father-in-law and Smeal. He offered an alternative to pressing charges. I know that it would seem like maybe they are friends and he's looking out. He's not, I don't think. He made a point that he would help me if pressing charges was the route I wanted, focusing more on the fact I was holding the baby, not my hair. Which was fine by me. Anyway, he offered to make a stop at the in-laws' place off duty and explain the gravity of what she had done to both father-in-law and Smeal. Suggest counseling or something for her and maybe wake up father-in-law to Smeal's disregard for decency and sanity. Talking with my husband and sister-in-law, I decided for Phil's and my children's sake, I wouldn't press charges, and only made a report with the officer and let him make the stop. So there is a record now with printed text and the before and after pics for proof. God forbid she escalates, I'll have a paper trail already started. Presumably, after the officer made the stop, my husband got a call from his dad. My husband answered and they talked for a good hour before passing off the phone to me. I insisted I would only speak to father-in-law. I wasn't and still am not willing to speak to or see Smeal. Father-in-law offered me a pretty heartfelt apology. He's known me since I was 14 and I really do believe he cares for me, so I accepted. He also offered to pay for anything hair-related until my hair reached its original length. Which I took the opportunity to not only accept but add the condition that only when my hair reaches that length again, is Smeal allowed to see my children and myself. Father-in-law didn't even try to protest after asking if he was still allowed over to see his grandchildren, which he is.